Hello. I had said that I would read another article and on yoga, and I switched to this article. Tempted to skip Savasana? 10 top yoga teachers explain why it's the most important pose. So the reason I'm reading about Shavasana is because I'm interested in yoga, and I have heard many, many times people say that Shavasana is very important. Shavasana is kind of like called corpse pose. It's like where you are very much resting at the end of your yoga practice. You're kind of like lying there on your mat, just like, or sitting, but you're just being very peaceful and kind of decompressing. And so let's see what they say in this yoga journal written by B. Creel. When you're time crunched, it can be tempting to sneak out of yoga class before the final resting pose. Here's why you should reconsider. I like the picture. Okay. After teaching yoga in New York City for more than 3 years, I've realized that it doesn't matter how early the class starts or whether or not the class ends exactly on time, there will always be one or two people who leave before Shavasana. I get it. Skipping the final 10 minutes of class to get in a shower or early or head out before to the out of the studio before the rush may seem like a smart idea. However, most teachers, including myself, say that Shavasana is an essential pose and one you should never skip. Here are nine Here, 9 top yoga teachers talk about the incredible benefits of Shavasana. Will they tempt you to stay? Annie Carpenter, the yoga teacher and creator of Smart Flow Yoga. So, this is what she says. Shavasana is a great balancer in terms of our nervous system. While much of asana practice is designed to up-regulate the body, stimulate, and even provide healthy stress, Shavasana is a down-regulator. It shifts the away from the sympathetic nervous system and to the parasympathetic side, and we experience a calming, sweet release. Over time, Savasana teaches us how, and that we can move from anxiety and hyperstimulation to this state of downregulation, where digestion and the immune system and other essential systems are restored and enhanced. On another level, Shavasana creates the opportunity to make peace with the fact of our mortality. As our breath slows and becomes more shallow, we come to be conscious as we are ready that there will be the last breath. Practicing Shavasana is a rehearsal for that last breath, that last moment, not in a morbid way, but rather heightening our awareness in our current state of aliveness, but inviting us to live fully. Heather Lilliston, co-founder of Yoga for Bad People, this is what she says. My first yoga teacher, Sharon Gannon, always emphasized the importance of a complete 10-minute shavasana. Somewhere around minute 6, there is a profound shift in the body and one's mental chatter rather. Even with all the slow breathing and posture held during a general yoga class, there is still a lot of things to think about, feeling that pass, and the physical orientation that requires mental effort to be engaged in. The real quieting of the mind begins in Shavasana. At minute 6, the weight of the body drops. But not only that, the weight of the mind also drops. Ideally, the vinyasa portion of the class has calmed the nervous system down to the extent that it's ready to step aside for the moment and allow for another area of our being to surface. And that, I propose, is around minute 6 in a 10-minute Shavasana. This is where you get to swim around in a calm body, quiet mind, and easy heart. If you want to know what it's like to be pertinent to stay, it's pertinent to stay in the full 10 minutes. But these words don't matter unless you try it. You can get to the palace by crossing the moat. You can only get to the palace by crossing the moat. Here's Erica Mather, forest yoga teacher, creator of Adore Your Body. This is what she says. Shavasana is an important pose to help remodel your body. The work of asana warns the body the places forced on it in ways that start to break down physical habit patterns. When you rest in Shavasana, the body cools down in its mold with its anatomical neutrality, which is anatomic neutral. Allowing the body to control in this shape is a crucial rest for your whole physiology. Noah Mays, internal yoga teacher, co-founder of Yoga Maze, says, think of Shavasana as a time of digestion, assimilation, and adaptation. The information that your active practice has put into your body. You have moved in every direction and loaded the various muscular skeletal structures on lots of ways. Give your body some time to process and assimilate all of the information to begin to adapt accordingly. Your body will continue to adapt as you sleep that night and the following days, ultimately becoming stronger and better able to carry the loads that you're asking it to. Shavasana stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest response, calms your sympathetic nervous system, your fight and flight and freeze response. You will be deeply chilled out by Shavasana, and everyone around you will appreciate you even more. Rodney Yee, yoga teacher and co-chair of Urban Zen Health and Wellness Initiative. In my mind, the three most important poses in modern yoga are Tadasana, Siddhasana, and Shavasana. Shavasana is the absence of all patterns, neurological, emotional, and physical. It is the ultimate release of the unknown, of the known and unknown world, where awareness is all that is left without the illusions of the separateness of the seer. The world as the whole appears within the subject of I, without the subject of I. One should relish the emptiness of the small self for peace and overwhelming joy. When one disappears, there is no possibility of being or leaving. Here's Tiffany Krishank, teacher of yoga and founder of Yoga Medicine. In Shavasana, the body gets a chance and mind get a chance to take in and integrate the effects of the practice. It also is an important practice for the nervous system to recalibrate and reset, and we know it's important in our busy, stressful lives. Sarah Clark said, the mindfulness and yoga teacher says, our world is speeding up, and our yoga classes are too. Inviting mind and body to experience Shavasana can feel like an impossible task, but this is the practice. Being with the discomfort of resting in the present moment and to the rest of yourself, with yourself, compassionately and without judgment, and simply witness all that is happening around and within you is the essence of yoga. You are more deserving of Shavasana. Your nervous system, you're more than deserving of Shavasana. Your nervous system will thank you. Learning how to be still in a busy world is the greatest gift you can give yourself. And Eon Finn, a yoga teacher and founder of Blissology Yoga, says the following. Missing Shavasana is like taking the time to mix um, a cake batter, but not sticking it in the oven to bake. This small chunk of time completely changes the mental and physical benefits of the practice. This is when we have energy restored and instead of energy drained. Shavasana is when our nervous system can switch to parasympathetic tone that is essential to the body's ability to repair and reset itself. Mentally, when the body finally becomes tension free, the mind has a chance to follow suit and become clear and clutter free. This allows us to function better in our lives and to tune into the real mission of yoga to become connected to the higher power called love. And Kaino McGregor, yoga teacher and founder of the Stars, says, after a deep yoga practice, the best thing to do is to let the body settle. The perfect pose for that is resting pose, known as Shavasana. So many students, myself included, feel we often feel we have to shorten the rest time after practice, but that takes the sweetness out of the whole experience. It's only after the actual practice is finished that the deep healing energies really integrate. If you prop up without allowing these subtle forces to work, you may feel overly tired and emotionally imbalanced throughout the day. Plus, no matter what poses you do or what shapes you make, there is a wave of happiness and joy and peace waiting for you at the end. Bask in it for as long as possible. Thailandrum, a Stanga teacher and director of the yoga workshop in Boulder, Colorado. So I like how each one of these teachers, we see a picture of them doing Shavasana. So here's what he says, and this might be the last one. Yeah, this is the last one. The importance of Shavasana is that making space for the dust of the mind to settle is that of making space for the dust of the mind to settle and allowing the fragments of thought, emotion, and memory that were unearthed during the practice to break apart and dissolve. When we give space to these fragments, they release the psychical forces contained within them, and those forces and then absorbed back into the subtle body, which then resonates with the new creative process potential. Having given ourselves to this natural process, we may emerge feeling lighter, more lucid, and renewed. Having read this article, it makes me remember that I really do want to have a yoga practice. And if I ever do have a daily yoga practice, I will have a Shavasana because I do believe in Shavasana, and that's why I read that article. I think it's really important to rest after doing yoga. For some reason. For all of those reasons. Thank you for following along.